And welcome back to Spicer & Company. I'm John Bachman, sitting in for Sean Spicer. Lindsay Keith will be back with us in the next segment. Today, calls are growing for the U.S. to boycott the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing for China's inhumane treatment of Uyghur Muslims. The State Department on Tuesday initially said that a boycott was possible, but later in the day, a senior State Department official denied those suggestions in a statement that reads, quote, in part, quote, our position on the 2022 Olympics has not changed. We have not discussed and are not discussing any joint boycott with allies and partners. Our next guest has been very critical of the Chinese Communist Party for their handling of Hong Kong and the genocide of Uyghur Muslims in Western China. He's calling for a full boycott of the Beijing Games. He's joining us right now. He is Florida Congressman Michael Waltz. Congressman, great to talk to you again.
Hey, good to be with you.
All right, so the State Department has seemed to change their tune from their earlier comments. Why do you think that is? And why do you, I mean, look, from their assessment, it looks like Georgia has more restrictive policies than Communist China.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And, Secretary of State Tony Blinken, Biden's Secretary of State, admitted in his nomination hearing, he agreed with Mike Pompeo that genocide is ongoing as we speak. And just so that everybody understands how awful this is, these people are being lined up into rail cars, sent into concentration camps, slave labor. The women are sent off to hospital centers for forced sterilization. The BBC has exposed a mass rape campaign. This is on top of unleashing COVID onto the world, where they covered it up, still haven't shared the data, on top of Hong Kong. At the end of the day, how can we give the Chinese Communist Party this global platform to whitewash everything that they've done, to further their propaganda? And these woke corporations like NBC, Nike, Coca-Cola, Major League Baseball, as the sponsors, are going to make millions. They want to boycott and call Georgia racist, but yet they'll make millions on the back of an ongoing genocide. 180 human rights organizations, 180, John, have called for the same thing. And at the end of the day, Mike Pompeo has joined, Newt Gingrich has joined, Nikki Haley. The leader of the Canadian Conservative Party is calling on Justin Trudeau. We need to stand up, and these companies need to choose where they're going to take a stand and stand up for American values instead of gaslighting and fear-mongering over Georgia, which has nothing to do with what's going on in Georgia. It has everything to do with passing H.R. 1, Pelosi's voting bill out of the Congress.
Yeah, Congressman, look, they have no problem calling out the United States and states like Georgia for their elections policies. But when China wants to be held to account, they have a firm policy, too. Either you adopt our talking points, this is Communist China saying this to these American corporations, or you can't do business here. And, of course, what we see is these companies, they prefer that. That is their future. They know they have to have access to the Chinese market, and they are willing to sell out all of America to do that. Now, China actually responded to the State Department's comments by telling reporters that the U.S. should not politicize the Olympics, and they warned of a, quote, robust Chinese response should the U.S. go through with a boycott. What do you think they're talking about?
Well, the Chinese state-run paper has already threatened to boycott any country. To sanction any country who doesn't send their athletes. And to your point on the corporations, look, they're awash with Chinese money. They're completely compromised. Major League Baseball just expanded their deal with a Chinese company called Tencent to expand their streaming. But they're going to face the same thing that the NBA faced. The NBA had one coach who said, I stand with freedom in Hong Kong on Twitter. And the Chinese threatened to cut off the entire market to the point where the NBA caved and almost fired the coach in Houston unless he deleted his tweet. That is what the entire world is about to face.
People should go on Google and search YouTube and try to find video from the NBA season when we had American citizens in our nation's capital and in Philadelphia, the seat of the democracy in this country where it all started, wearing free Hong Kong T-shirts and being kicked out of those arenas simply for wearing a T-shirt. That shows you how the Chinese Communist Party has reached into an American culture here, and they are affecting, with a very heavy hand, our culture here in America. It's concerning. Now, one of the goals of having a a joint boycott.
It's sports.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's sports. It's Hollywood. It's our politics. It's our universities. And America needs to wake up to the fact that the Chinese Communist Party is in a Cold War of influence. And they're stealing our IP left and right. And they openly talk about replacing the America dream with the China dream, which is authoritarian and antithetical to our values.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's the opposite of what we were able to do to the Soviets with soft power, with American music, with American fashion, with American culture. China is trying to do the same thing to us. Now, one of the goals of having a joint boycott with our allies is because it would help persuade the International Criminal Court to open up an investigation into Beijing's action against Uyghur Muslims. But you and I know if we are relying on the International Criminal Court for anything, it's already a situation of last resort. They are not going to come to our defense or to hold China accountable for anything?
Oh, no, it's the same court that's regularly trying to prosecute American soldiers. We can't be relying on the International Criminal Court at all. What I think, the Biden State Department was hinting at would be a diplomatic boycott, meaning they wouldn't send, our key diplomats or Biden himself. But those corporations are still going to be making millions. NBC is still going to make millions off of broadcasting. And the Chinese Communist Party will still have that global platform. A lot of people point to the 1980 boycott and say, well, what did it do? I point to times when we probably should have, like the 1936 games. Look at what Germany did after that. Look at the Sochi games. Russia invaded Crimea just 1 month after 2014. We have to take a stand here.
That's a good point. Although I do love to see the video of Jesse Owens, kind of thumbing his nose at Adolf Hitler at the 1936 games. But I see your point, Congressman. We got to run. Great to talk to you as always. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Thank you, John. See you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.